The acoustic scale is a beautiful jazzy sounding scale every musician should learn about. In this 6th episode on the pressing scales, I'm going to go over the acoustic set and many of its subsets using examples. I'm Jay Beard and I make videos about Scriabin and music theory, so check out my website to check out the lessons and courses that I offer, and please like, comment, and subscribe. The name acoustic comes from the fact that it resembles the harmonic series, with the mode jazz cats call Lydian dominant. The harmonic series has a dominant 7 and a sharp 11 like the name Lydian dominant suggests. The reason jazz cats use it is because it makes up extension chords like this full 13 chord that uses the entire acoustic set. One of its modes is the melodic minor scale, which has been used in classical music to accommodate the dominant 5 chord, or just to sound smoother melodically with a leading tone, like at the end of this Bach piece. Let's explore the relationship between the diatonic, acoustic, and harmonic sets. They're all just one semitone neighboring pitch away from each other. To demonstrate this, we can look at the white keys of the piano that give us the diatonic set. Now if we move the E down to E flat, we get C melodic minor, which is a mode of the acoustic set. If we move the A down to A flat, we get harmonic major. These 3 7-note scales are some of the most utilized sets in music. Diatonic is the most even in consonant, then acoustic, then harmonic. The last thing to mention before we go to the whiteboard is how the structure of the acoustic set is like a mixture between the whole tone scale and the octatonic scale. Going clockwise around the pitch circle, we see 5 whole steps in a row, giving us almost the entire whole tone scale. And then if we go the opposite direction, we see 6 notes in a row from the octatonic scale with this half step then whole step pattern. This means the acoustic subsets include all the subsets of whole tone and many of the octatonic subsets. This is similar to how the harmonic set has all the subsets of hexatonic along with a 6-note octatonic subset. Now let's listen to all the modes of the acoustic set before getting into its subsets. The interval vector for the acoustic set is pretty balanced with the highest amount of whole steps. While Scriabin rarely uses the entire acoustic set, preferring instead to use the mystic chord, which is a subset we'll cover last, in Flamme he's pretty adventurous with harmony, transposing the entire acoustic set down a whole step, making use of the many retained pitches at the whole step transposition level. Because of the acoustic set's similarity to other pressing sets, all of its 5-note subsets are shared among other pressing scales. There are several important pentachords I haven't covered yet that I associate with the acoustic set, starting with 5/28. It's an important pentachord in Scriabin's music because it's both a subset of octatonic and the mystic set. It can be thought of as a 13 chord without the 5th and 9th, or as a French 6 chord with an extra pitch. Here's one of my favorite uses of 5/28 in Scriabin's 5th sonata, where he first pioneers this harmony. In the development section, he shows off 5/28 with a pedal B in the bass that I'm going to omit, making this the 2nd mode of 5/28B. 5/26 is a beautiful set we might think of as a half-diminished 7/9 chord. It's a good example of why we need set theory to represent the various modes of a chord, because this chord can also be used as a flat 9 flat 13 chord, or as a 7/9 sharp 11 13 chord without the 3rd or 5th. Here's an example of Scriabin using 5/26 as a flat 9 flat 13 chord consonantly, followed by some other acoustic subsets. 5/30 is a sharp 9 flat 13 chord I like to call the baby mystic chord. I call it this because it has a lot of the flavor of the mystic chord, just missing the 1st scale degree. We can also think of it as the major pentatonic scale with a lowered 6th scale degree. I made a video about how Moonchild applies this chord in a neo-soul setting. In my course on composing like Scriabin, I go into detail about how to apply mystic subsets like this, such as transposing it a tritone away like in this excerpt from Sonata 7. While the last two subsets mentioned are shared with the harmonic set, 534 is shared in common with the diatonic set. We usually just call it a 9 chord. It's the complement of the acoustic set, meaning that the two sets combine to form all 12 pitches. We can tell they're complements because they both have 34 as the second number of their fort label. Fort numbers are made so that the cardinalities that add up to 12, like 5-note sets and 7-note sets, will be complements of each other if they have the same second number. I like how triumphantly Scriabin uses set 534 in his 5th sonata. Among 6-note sets, we've covered 623, which is a 6-in-a-row octatonic subset, and 624 is a harmonic subset covered last episode. 633 is shared in common with the diatonic set, which we might think of as a major scale without the root or without the third. Here's another example from Vers la Flamme where Scriabin uses a spread out voicing of 633 with fifths at the marking with veiled joy. Lastly, we have 634, Scriabin's mystic chord. This set makes up a lot of extension chords used in jazz, with one mode giving us the sharp 11 chord with a fifth, and another mode giving us the full 7-9 sharp 11-13 extension chord without the fifth. I have a full video on how Scriabin applies this set, and I hope to make a future video explaining why the structure of the mystic chord is so special, and thus such a monumental discovery by Scriabin. The simplified explanation is that the mystic chord is formed by moving any pitch of the whole tone scale up or down a semitone, and thus it retains a lot of the transpositional properties of the most symmetrical set, but has the advantage of not being symmetrical, allowing it to be transposed to all 12 pitches. It's a tremendously important set that would have inevitably been discovered that sounds like the juiciest parts of the acoustic set. I'll end with a similar example shown for 528 in Sonata 5, but with the melody shifted up a few measures later, giving us the entire mystic set. The acoustic set is one of the most fun sets to implement because its subsets are deliciously consonant, but yet still more novel and less utilized than diatonic subsets. Most extension chords in jazz come from the acoustic set, and it has a lot of potential to be used as a melody, as its interval pattern is made up of half steps and whole steps, just like the diatonic set. What would happen if we played through the scale with its pitches stacked in thirds, triads fitting with the scale? It sounds a bit awkward having two diminished chords in a row and having an augmented chord in there. Here's how thirds triads would sound using the harmonic major scale. Sounds even more awkward with the 3 semitone interval in between scale degrees. There's only one scale that allows us to move up and down in triads gracefully, and that's the diatonic set. Next episode, we're going to tie the series together by diving into the most utilized pressing scale through the lens of set theory. But first, what's your favorite subset of the acoustic set? Let me know in the comments, check out my website, join the Discord, and please like, comment, and subscribe.